Hello, 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 Sweet Life Squad. How are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Hello, Miss Brenda. How are you doing? Thanks for coming in tonight. I hope this has been a terrific Tuesday for you. Hello, Grant. How are you doing? Thanks for coming in. Good evening, good evening. All right, all right. So I hope you all are doing well. Come on in, my YouTube friends. Yes, yes. Sweet Life Squad. Hello, Traveling T. How are you tonight? Thanks for coming in, my friend. She said, good evening, everyone. Another night of excitement and learning from one another. I hope each of you are well and you all please be blessed. Yes. Thank you, Traveling T. You as well. Hello, Alvin. How are you, Al? Thanks for coming in tonight. Greatly appreciate it. And welcome to my live stream. So, friends, yes, sweet life squad. Um, Hopefully your Tuesday has been great so far. Your week has been great, and hopefully everybody has survived that winter storm that we were all in, some way, shape, or form. Yes, some of us more than others, and hopefully everything is getting back to normal. I know some pipes had burst and, you know, just a lot of different things going on, because of the winter storm, all the snow and everything. Even Florida got a little bit of, flurries and some, things that happened where pipes burst and everything. That storm has been a mess. Yes, nonetheless. And I thank God that we were able to, weather the storm and get through it. Now, I did want to talk a little bit tonight about healthy living. Of course, this is a better health channel, lifestyle channel, making sure that we are doing everything that we can to become healthier beings, living our healthiest, our sweetest lives. Yes, yes. So as I learn to do the same, making sure that I am living a better life, I hope to inspire you or aspire you to live a sweet, healthy one as well. Yes. All right. And enjoy life to the fullest. Okay. I want all of us to be able to live a long and prosperous life, but also enjoy every moment of it that we can. Okay. So, with that being said, again, living in a food desert, I know some people do. Everybody doesn't have, the wherewithal to be able to live, you know, um, in the fanciest places, in the places where, maybe there are an abundance of, you know, good options when it comes to food or the healthiest options. Look, quote unquote, right? And so I want to talk a little bit about it tonight. One of my other lives, when I was doing a 7 day live with you all, it was 7 nights straight where we're just talking about different things on my series called Curious with Kim. And someone, actually brought up a good point, asking about, well, what about, if you were living in a food desert, we also all the time talk about, going and making sure that we're choosing the healthiest options, in the grocery stores. But what if you don't have a lot of grocery stores or no grocery stores, chain stores within your area? What do you do? Good question. So I decided to, look it up, and just, some things that I kind of know about myself. But not only that, just kind of look it up because I like, I'm very curious about things. And when I start, getting those thoughts in my head, I'm like, let's see what, research says about it, and then I can bring it back to my Sweet Life Squad. I don't want us to, because I understand that, we all here may have different incomes, like I said, different environments, different living situations. You never know. You can be rich and still have money issues and need, some extra, help on how to do things, in a healthy way, but still, where you may be, there's a money tightness, this week. So how can I make it to the next paycheck? or whatever. So, hey, why not talk about this thing? I thought that was great to talk about. So let's go into this chat real quick and let's see who's come in, and we'll get into that subject. All right. I'm doing well, Alvin. Thanks again for coming in. You're doing good. Definitely happy to be here. Thank you. I'm happy you have come in tonight and hope you enjoy yourself. All right. So Felicia is saying hey to everyone. Hello, Felicia Marie B. Thanks for coming in, sweetheart. All right, Miss Cookie J. How are you doing, sis? Hope you're doing well tonight. Let's see who else is here. Everybody's just getting acquainted with one another. Thank you for welcoming Alvin into the Sweet Life Squad chat. This is his first time being here, on the live stream with us. All right. And he does have a channel on here if you all want to check him out. Greatly appreciate it. Yes. Hello, Felicia Fee. How are you doing? Thanks for coming in, sweetheart. Greatly appreciate it. If you all want to go ahead and, for those who are content creators on here, go ahead and drop your dollar signs. I greatly appreciate it. I do notice here, Brenda is a content creator. Grant Campbell, he is going to become one at some point. We're looking forward to that. He has a whole lot to say about, his better health journey. And so he's been sharing a lot of, things with us within the chats, as well as he's been opportune to be able to come on different channels within our community to actually share his lifestyle journey, okay, of becoming, better at health, on different channels. And so he will actually be here on my channel on the 5th. So yes, on Thursday evening. We're going to do it probably about 9:45, between 9:30 and 9:45. We will come on, and it'll be one of my new series, which will be Sugar Talks. Yes. Okay. So Miss Felicia Marie B, that's my girl, so she, we talk quite often, and, we were just, she knows that I have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, that is. And so, because I'm always trying to think of new things to do within my channel, as well as just better health, and I love researching things. That's what Curious with Kim came from, that series, as well as, this new Sugar Talks that I'm going to embark upon. So y'all stay tuned. Hopefully this will be, I know it will be a great series, another great series, yes. And I thank you for Miss Felicia Marie B. I give honor where honor is due. Yes, yes. So let's see, what else? I know a lot of times we, because I, of course, am part of a GLP-1 community because I use Manjaro to help me with type 2 diabetes, okay? Help me manage it. I was able to get my A1C back down from a 15.1 at, when I got diagnosed with diabetes in 2024, back down to a 5.6, which is the normal range. So my A1C was 3 times higher than what it should have been, okay, which they consider off the charts, which they consider very, very, very dangerous. Yes. So I was able to, jump into that, take care of that out the gate, to make sure that I was, taking care of my health. That was so important for me. Of course, I know that Manjaro helps also because that's the GLP-1 I'm on. That helped me, could be a tool that could help me also lose some weight. So I was like, I can lose a little, good bit of pounds too, even though, hey, I was happy. I was, excited about my, how I looked, and things of that nature at the time. I wasn't like, as some people, when they want to, lose some weight or they're morbidly obese, sometimes it bothers them. Sometimes they've been, dealing with that all their lives or whatever. But for some reason, your girl thought she was fine. Okay. Even at the weight of 253 pounds. Okay. But, I said, okay, well, I can lose weight because I know that's going to help me with some health, right? It can't help but give me some, a better, what I want to say. It can make me healthy too, losing some weight. So that's what I decided to do. Go ahead and jump on that weight loss journey as well as my, making sure I was getting those those high blood sugars, which is hyperglycemia, getting those sugars back down, okay, to the normal range. So yes, so that's my quest. I jumped in it, look, feet first, all the way in, deep off in it, and I was able to get that A1C back down in 5 months. Yes, yes. So I was also able to lose 74 pounds within a year. So I'm happy about that. So the journey continues, and it will continue for a long time, because the journey is what? Long term, right? We want to make sure long term we're doing things. We're not trying to do this thing like, okay, boom, 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 I'm on a diet, I'm trying to knock this weight off, and then that's it. Then I go back to my old habits. No, we're trying to get, you know, trying to do this thing the right way this time. And GLP-1s are a tool that can help us do that, right? But not only that, we have to make sure we're doing the natural things that we're supposed to do, like, better nutrition, better exercise, better movement, making sure that we're getting enough sleep, finding ways to, just progress to, the healthiest being that we can be. God has given us our bodies, for a, to be able to help, pollinate love throughout the world, like Miss Felicia Marie B says, to her busy bees, and just to make sure that we are living a wonderful life, being able to help each other out and things of that nature. So that's why I'm happy I'm on YouTube, to be able to help others out that may not, understand when it comes to how to become healthier, or what have you. We do have Google. Yes, we do have YouTube. We have a lot of things, but sometimes people need some extra help, some extra, tender loving care, to be able to hold, each other's hands to get through this together. A lot of people are alone in this journey. And so even though I have, like, I'm blessed to have people that, support me at home. There are people out here that does not. So that's why I'm here, to be able and doing these series like Curious with Kim, to learn a little bit more about how to make health better, and then also together, and then also to be able to make sure, like say Sugar Talks, to make sure I can talk to my, diabetic community, and, so that we can make sure we're learning things together and bouncing ideas off each other, and maybe some things that we, are doing personally, some testimonies that we have can resonate with someone else and be able to help someone else continue to live a long and prosperous life. Yes, which is what God intended us to do. Okay. So let's see. All right. Sugar Talks. Yes, Felicia Marie B. Hello, Mia. How are you doing? Thanks for coming, sweetheart, into the chat tonight. Hope you're doing well. Hello, beautiful. I'm Color. Thanks for coming in, sweetheart. Glad to see you here as well. Hello, Z. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. Just saying hey to a couple more people before I get started. Hello, she is Tamika, and Tamika is she. How are you doing, sweetheart? That's gorgeous there, y'all. All right. Hello, Grace. How are you doing, sweetheart? Thanks for coming in. Yes, yes. Hope you're doing well. Trying to go through this chat real quick. Hello, Jenny. How are you doing, love? Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope I don't miss anybody as I'm trying to go through this chat real quick. If I do, y'all, or did, please, forgive me for that. Charge to my head and not my heart, or maybe my eyes. Okay, let's see. And if I did miss somebody, y'all go ahead and just say hey again. I appreciate it. All right. Anybody in the bushes or in the clouds, like they say, thank you for coming in. If you all have not hit the like button, please do so. If you want to come in this chat and chit chat a little bit, please do so. Make sure that you are, for those who have not come in before, make sure that you are respectful and enjoy yourself. Okay. Be at home. Also, if you have not subscribed to Kim J Sweet Healthy Life, what you waiting on, honey? What you waiting on? Let's clock this tea together, honey, and make sure that we are living our sweet healthy lives. Yes. All right. So Jenny, Miss Grace says, how is the sleep going? All right. And then Jenny says, finally getting better, Grace. I've been challenged. Picked picked something up that night after we all spoke. Okay, great, great, great. And look, Jenny, I'm sure a lot of people are going through these sleep things as well. You know, the sleep of it all, trying to get enough rest, making sure that we can get rest. I know a lot of people on, especially like the GLP-1 medications, they may have insomnia and things like that. Finding out they are having insomnia, can't get to sleep or whatever, or not sleeping enough, long enough. And that's another part of being, making sure that you are, living a healthier life. That helps so much when you're able to get your rest in, you know, um, and definitely into that realm, deep sleep. Yep. So Mia says, you better be kind or Grace will put you in timeout, as she should. As she should. And you too, Mia. Yes. All right. She's so Jenny says, thank you. So let's talk about this food desert. I'm not sure if anybody here knows anything about a food desert. Maybe you have a family member that's in a food desert. Maybe you're in a food desert. Even if like say, even if when I'm talking about sugar talks, those nights you may not have diabetes, but I do know that some people, even that don't have diabetes, are more reporting that because they're on maybe a weight loss journey, better health journey, that, because they may, their sugars may be fluctuating, and going a little bit further down than it should. And, they're, having issues with that, with, sugar lows and things of that nature, or even sugar highs. So I think it's still, even though if you're not diabetic, it still will, be good for you to get in the chat, because I'm sure if it's not you personally dealing with it, you may deal with it some point in time. And you say, you know what, I remember when Kim J was talking about it on her channel, about blah, 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 or whatever that you're dealing with. Or you may have a family member that you love so dearly and you want to share, that information out, or share my channel out with them. I greatly appreciate it. Yes. All right. Biggest thing is I want to make sure that we all, again, are living our sweetest, healthiest lives. All right. So Grace says yes, because y'all know I'm still hungry from not eating carbs in 2021. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Cookie says, I know about a food desert. Okay, yes. All right. Because look, even if you're not in one now, you could have been in one growing up, so you can still, it still can resonate with you. You understand, where, how people, have lived at some point in life, like I said, whether it's you or someone else. Okay. And none of us are, too high and mighty that, maybe the one day we may, unfortunately be in that spot. And, what would we do, at the time, and we want to be content wherever we're going to be at per my Bible. We need to be content, and be grateful and be thankful to him for whatever, comes our way. He will definitely take us out of the situation, or he will make, you know, even though you may be in a situation, he can still give you peace in that situation. All right. So Mia says it feels like a food tundra because it's been in the negative degrees here in Indiana. Oh my gosh. Sorry to hear that. Thank God I don't have to deal with that. Thank you, Lord. Honey, I'd be cold at 60, 65, talking about negative something. Oh my goodness. All right. You're working, Brenda, but listen, thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate it. All right. Okay. So, all right, let's talk about this food desert. Now that I've gotten through the chat. All right. And again, like I said, we were talking about this on, one of my lives previous. And I was like, I don't want to let it go. Because again, there may be somebody out here that is going through it and just wondering, what can we do? All right. So just know that, it's something when it comes to food desert. First of all, let's even talk about what food desert is. So living in a food desert, that's like in an instance where you may be limited, you may have limited access to affordable, nutritious foods. Okay, due to it could be your location that you're living in. It could be transportation. You don't have transportation to get back and forth to the stores. It can be your income because your income may be low, or too low to buy, like more expensive foods or whatever, or healthier, quote unquote, again, foods. It could be the availability of stores in your neighborhood. Okay. Those are the reasons why you could be living in an area that there's a food desert. Okay. And again, you may have had that issue in the past, right now, or you know somebody who has had that. Okay. So knowing that you may be in that environment or have been in that environment before, know that it's really not your fault that you're in that. It could be, it's just more so like, it could be just systematic. Okay. Where the government needs to do a little bit more, or your city, powers to be needs to do a little bit better when it comes to making sure that there are enough grocery stores in your area. Okay. All right. Income wise, it could be, the shortages of jobs, and things of that nature. It's so many different reasons. Transportation, you may not make enough money to, get the proper transportation, or, be able to fix your car if you do have, a car, and things of that nature. So, sometimes when you have a lot of kids, if you will have to ride the bus, or, it may be hard to get on that if you don't have the money to do it. So it's several reasons why you may, have issues trying to get, to the stores or what have you. Or like I said, maybe there's no stores to even get to in your area. Um, so I know, like, from my area that I'm in, personally, we have one grocery store, okay, within a maybe maybe 5 mile radius, okay, and then 5 to 10 mile radius, and then we have one Walmart, okay, superstore. So, and that's it, So I could potentially be considered in a food desert myself, but I do have a car, thank God, so I'm able to, go outside of the little radius that I was talking about, where in my neighborhood, so that I can get to another store to be able to purchase things. But I know, like, we oftentimes talk about, Whole Food store, and, maybe Trader Joe's, and, Sprouts, and what else? One of them other places that we could talk about going to, that has maybe the better things, better selections of produce, as well as, meats and everything like that. But those are just some of them, I would say. Um, and others, of course, but those where, stores where it's a little bit more expensive to to eat at, to purchase things at. So you may only have, now I do have in my neighborhood Dollar Trees, and Family Dollars, and Dollar Generals. Okay, I do have a few of those, posted around, of course. So even I know there's, say for instance, Dollar Tree and Dollar General, and I'm thinking Family Dollar as well. Some of them, they do have some, items that we can purchase too, that kind of help us, in areas where we may be in a food desert. So when it comes to food, um, you want to make sure that, even though you may have to, shop at those type of stores, and you may not have an actual grocery store that's more available for you, and you may have to stock up food in the Dollar Generals, Dollar Trees, and things like that. There's still options, better options out there that you can get. One you have to do is make sure you're reading labels, understanding your labels, your nutritional labels that's on the back of your foods, of the packages that you have to get. When it comes to, making sure that you're choosing healthy foods. Some of these stores also have areas where they have refrigerated sections, and they have foods in there. I know in my Dollar Tree, just for instance, they have frozen veggies. Okay, now, and I'm happy that they did choose to put that kind of stuff, also in those stores. They don't have a big variety like a regular grocery store, but they do have enough to be able to say, okay, I can pick a few items up, that's frozen, and it's nothing wrong with frozen, foods. Between fresh foods and frozen foods, those are the better type of foods. Now, when it comes to fresh, I did notice that in my Dollar General, they have, some fresh options when it comes to produce. Not a whole lot, again, but there is some, like I see, potatoes in there. I see tomatoes. I see, and these are fresh items. I see, like bell peppers and onions. They have those type things in there. So a few things they have, started stocking up in Dollar Generals that in my area. Okay, I don't know about everybody's, but in my area. So that's nice to be able to have, more convenient for us and things of that nature. But just say if for some reason, you have to use canned goods, okay? Even canned goods. There are some canned goods items that you can get that can also, you can find that could be more healthy, okay? Healthier options. Again, learning how to read labels. And we can talk about that another time on actually how to read the labels, a little bit more if we want to. Let us know in the chat if you want to do that. Or I still may do it anyway, because like I said, who knows who may be coming over to the channel that may need some assistance with that. But anyway, for tonight, let's choose better protein options when it comes to going to maybe one of those corner stores, okay? If you cannot get to those grocery stores, all right? And then just to say, let me go back a little bit. When it comes to grocery stores, even if you have one grocery store in your neighborhood, it's always better when it comes to healthier foods. You want to shop the parameters of the store, and not so much in the aisles as much. There are some things that are in the aisles that are still healthy, but if you go around the stores on the outer of the stores, then you find more your fresh items, okay, the better or healthier items. So you got your fresh produce, you have your fresh meats, and things of that nature. So that's good versus going in the aisles, and those aisles have a lot of the packaged products that may not be as healthy. So we have to just be a little bit mindful if we are looking at those packaged products, because of course we have a family. Everybody in the family may not be on a weight loss journey or a health style journey, or better health journey. Their health may be fine, and so they may be able to eat a little bit, especially if you have kids. You're gonna give kids some little stuff, and there's nothing wrong with us indulging a little bit as well in some of those things as well. We just have to know how to balance them out, right? And we want to balance heavy more so on the healthier things than we do on the unhealthy things or the indulgence things. Okay, if you want to live, the best in the best health that you can. All right. So when it comes to those corner stores, though, we're talking. You can buy things such as canned tuna, and they also some have the packaged tunas too. Okay, when you talk about tuna, you want to try to make sure it's in water. It being better in water because it's less, it's healthier for you when it comes to being in water versus say in oil. Okay, because then you talk about the seed oils and things like that. You talk about your saturated fat might be a little bit more on when it comes to canned tuna in oil versus canned tuna in water, or the packaged tuna that doesn't have it's vacuum packed, so it's very little water in it, or it may not be water at all in it. So also you have salmon, okay, canned salmon, because everybody cannot afford though that expensive fresh salmon. Even if you at the grocery stores, you may have to get canned salmon. Same thing with the tuna. You may not be able to afford a lot of tuna, so you go into the canned tuna. And then you can get canned chicken as well. Those are three meats that you can get in a can if for some reason you don't have the option to be able to grab the fresh products, maybe because again it could be too expensive, or it could be where you cannot get to the actual grocery store, okay, that sells that stuff. All right, you have jerkies, okay, beef jerky, chicken jerky, things of that nature. It's lower in sugar, in your sugars. So if you need something like that, and you're like, you like junk food or whatever, there are better jerkies out there now where it's more clean and not as like more junk food, options. Okay, I shared one of them on one of my, I think it was a short that I did, a jerky that I tried. It was a chicken jerky. Yes. If you want to go check that out. Also, you have, eggs. A lot of those corner stores sell a carton of eggs. So that's fresh, right? It's good. Eggs are good for you. And you can boil the eggs, fry the eggs, all kinds of ways. You know how to cook eggs, okay? Oh, egg over easy, scrambled, all kinds of stuff, right? Okay, then you have cheese sticks, okay, or cheese slices. And then they do also do shredded cheese. They have those at those stores. It's good. That's protein that you can get as well, having cheese. Also, you got peanut butter or nut butters, okay, nut mixes. You have those as well. So those are some of the items that you can get on at those corner stores that helps, you when it comes to getting your protein in. It's a big rave about getting protein in, making sure that we're getting protein in, and try to get as healthy as you possibly can. But these are things that you can get from that corner store if for some reason you are in a food desert. All right, then you understand that the reason why we want protein and we want to go heavy on protein is, for one, it can keep you, more. It gives you more satiety. Okay, helps you keep fuller longer. Also, it helps with blood sugar stability. Yes. So that's for the people that are having issues with blood stability. It also helps with muscle preservation. Okay, so help you preserve your muscles. And of course, as you age, you can experience muscle loss. Okay, but also if you're on a weight loss journey, especially if you're losing weight pretty fast, pretty rapid, you can experience muscle loss. So we want to make sure that we're eating enough protein, and especially the good proteins, so that will hopefully minimize, the muscle loss, okay, or preservation. All right, and then understand that when it comes to all of this, we're not talking trying to be perfect. It's not about perfection in any of these things, any of the things that we're doing when it comes to our health journey, our better health journey. It is, perfection in itself doesn't even exist. Okay, it does not even exist. I know a lot of times we strive for perfection, right? But on this earth that we walk in, these bodies, perfection is not going to happen, right? So we want to make sure we're striving more for consistency, developing habits and disciplines, so that we can do this thing better. Okay, better health, right? And that's what being consistent with protein, that's what it does. Okay, all right. Let me get in this chat because I see this chat going. Okay, so Tamika said, I'm sick and tired of my toilet seat cold and bones cold. Yes, honey. Yes. Me too, honey. That bathroom, for some reason, is freezing right now. That whole area, because I have like tile in my bathroom. And with me being on this weight loss journey, like I said, lost a big amount of weight in a short amount of time. It's just like I'm cold all the time. Like, so my insulin, my doctor said, it's like my insulation is kind of gone. So therefore I'm colder now. And then now it's cold in my city, for some reason that bathroom is even colder. So my seat is cold, the bathroom area is cold. So I got like a portable heater in there trying to, heat it up. I need to hurry up and turn that heater on so I can get on this toilet so I can use this bathroom. Because other than that, I'm freezing. All right, Coach T, you need to get one of those toilet seats with the heated seat. It's heaven. Okay. Mia says, thanks for that. Because some people don't even know they have that, right? All right. Mia says, Tamika, my bedside commode feels like a solid metal ice cold seat when I have to go. It's a big shock. Yes. I used to have one of those things as well when I hurt my knee and had to have surgery. Okay, Tamika says she's gonna look into that heated toilet seat. Fancy. You don't want to sit there all day, Cookie says. Honey, once I actually sit on that toilet, my body temperature warm that toilet right on up. It warms it right on up. It's just a matter of just hurrying up and just sitting down real quick. You know how you get in the pool and you hurry up and jump in because it's going to be cold initially. You hurry up and jump in that thing so you won't feel all that, burr when you first get in. Yeah, that's how I am with the toilet. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, plop, so I can get it over with real quick. Hello, Latanya. How are you doing? Glad to see you tonight as well. I'm good. I'm doing well. Yes, I'm doing well. I hope you are too, love. All right. Mia says Aldi really has improved selections of healthy stuff because use to be it's because it used to be hard to get good quality of items, but now they are on point, honey. Yes, I love shopping at Aldi. Love it, love it, love it. And Aldi is about 10 to 13 minutes away from me. Not too bad, but I have to get on the highway, and go a good way. So it's not like it's a walking distance type thing or anything. I definitely have to make sure, I have, money, gas in the car, and be able to, make sure my car is working well so I can get there and get back. Look, I want to go to point from A to B to C, back to A. So yeah. All right. Tamika says, yes, labels are important. Yes, we got to learn how to read labels, y'all. And I know some people don't even know, like, especially when it comes to ingredients, you'll look at the label itself and see what it says, but then then you got the ingredients, more ingredients at the bottom to let you know what's in the food. And that's important to be able to understand too. Some things like when it comes to sugar, when you look at these labels, some of these long behind names, you don't know what they are. It's like, and some of them are saying sugar, even though we're saying is, oh, I'm sugar free or what have you, and don't realize that certain things in that label is still sugar. So yes, it's very important to read labels. Yes, thank you for that, Miss Tamika. All right, to amen, your girl. All right, Mia says, heated seat sounds so nice. I could at least lay my heated pad on the commode to decrease the shock. Thanks for sparking that idea, ladies. Yes. Hello, Boss Way, and congratulations, my sis. Congratulations, honey, on being monetized. I'm so excited. Fully monetized, that is. Yes, yes. Godspeed to you. I was happy to be able to, come on and enjoy you, as you celebrate your monetization on YouTube. Best wishes and Godspeed. All right. Mia says labels can be kind of misleading and wrong sometimes. The can or package has less servings in the package. It's always more accurate if you measure yourself. Now that is true. That is true. I think Felicia Marie B talked about it a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe she just talked to me. I don't know. I can't remember because we talk a lot. So, but yeah, just looking at your labels, you have to look at them, but then to know your labels, to know what's there, to know what's inside that package. But you also need to, again, it definitely will behoove you to measure yourself, as measure your items as well. If you're tracking, I know some people say tracking triggers them. Some people hate tracking. Some people say I'll never track, and that's fine. It's up to you how you decide to do this. I just want to give you the information, and then you do whatever you think you need to do with that. Of course, I just want to put that little disclaimer there too, just in case. I don't want I don't want to overwhelm people with information, but I do, have to realize that, there's so many people that are here, either, in my chat, in the bushes, or going to be on the replay, and those that's going to be coming as Sweet Life Squad members at some point, as God brings them over here to me. So I still want to be able to give the information to you all. And like I said, eat the meat, spit out the bones if you don't need it. Okay. All right. So Mia says, Haji, I would happily give you my email, honey. I may have missed something, Lord. Let's see. Hold on. Hello, Kendi K. How are you doing? Kendi K all day. Yes, this is Kendi K, y'all. Y'all meet up with her. Go check her channel out. Greatly appreciate. She is helping people get monetized. So if you're on here and you are trying to get monetized, honey, go check her channel out because she is there trying to help people grow. Okay, as she grow herself. Awesome information she has and share over on her channel. All right. So Mia says, Haji, I would happily give you my email. Okay, I did say that. All right, there it is. All right, Tamika says, Bossway says, hello, she is Tamika. Couldn't get that out. What you say, Kendi K? Yes. All right, let's see. Traveling T says the lack of health choices for many people contributes to obesity. Yes. That is so true, Traveling T. So true. For some reason, whatever reason is, that we became obese or morbidly obese, some of us, we did not have healthy choices sometimes because of our environment. When as we were growing up, because a lot of people have been obese since they were younger. And of course, when you were younger, you could not choose what your food you ate. Whatever your parents gave you is what you ate. However much they gave you is what you ate, unless you were those ones that snuck in the kitchen after mama or daddy closed them pots. With that being said, so it's a lot of reasons why people have become obese. It could be genetics, it could be it could be your environment, just different things like that. Being in a food desert, not being able to, not understanding labels, not understanding what are healthy choices when it comes to being in that food desert and things of that nature. So that's why I want to talk a little bit more about it tonight. Because like I said, when the person came up with that, question or whatever in my live, I was like, that's something to talk about. Everybody is not, don't have it like that, and be able to go to the more expensive stores to buy things, quote unquote, healthier store options, and things of that nature. So I thought that was good to talk about. Yeah. Thank you for that, Traveling T. One other thing that we also have, I mean, you may have the funds, your income may not be the problem. You just may be living in an area that just does not have, the choices that, some of the other, health areas have. And of course, but they do have, like, say, for instance, Walmart. Walmart has a delivery option that you can have them delivered to your home if you don't have any issues, with paying the money for the delivery service. There's that as well, so that helps us now, where before we didn't have that option. So there is an option there too. You also have Instacart as well. You have DoorDash, and things of that nature. That's just to name three, but there are things like that you can have too that can help you also, in case you don't have the transportation, or you don't feel like it any, going to the store yourselves. Sorry, I got to get me something to drink right quick. Drink break, water break. So yes, those options are there as well. Mia says, congratulations on a super awesome celebrations, RG. All right. Thank you for that, Mia. All right. So this is people just saying hey to one another again. Some more. Okay. Bossway says, when my heat went out this weekend, Lord, the toilet seat was cold. I can believe it. I can believe it. All right, let's see. I ordered a heavy blanket and thick fuzzy sheet sets. Okay, cool, Mia. Hello, Purple Bell Flower. That's my zodiac twin, y'all. Welcome her in. All right, Miss Brenda says, I hope that heated toilet seat isn't electric. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. If it gets wet, you're going to fry your. I know that's right, Brenda. That's funny. Okay, so Cookie said, Brenda, they're safe. Okay, cool. She said she just want to make sure. Hello, Auntie Queen. How are you doing, sweetheart? Thanks for coming in tonight. Yes. You see the Queen? Y'all see her? Y'all see her? Show her some love. I see y'all showing her some love. Yes. Let me see. Let me go on down. Hello, Miney. How are you? How are you, sweetheart? How you doing, sweetheart? Hope you're doing well. Hello, Cal Vlogs. How are you doing, sweetie? Hope you're doing well. I saw you in these streets today. Hope you're doing well. All right. Low Carb Queen says, congratulations to Hajareen. Yes, the boss way. Yes. So happy for you and so proud of you, my dear. Yes. All right, so Jenny says she missed the live, Harji. However, congratulations. Great thing about YouTube, you can watch our replay. Yes. All right, so Felicia Marie B says, I dealt with a lot of food insecurities as a child, and I wasn't raised to understand healthy choices, quote unquote, right? Because healthy foods were considered expensive. Yes, and we still say that they are, but as we continue to learn about healthy foods, some healthy foods really don't have to be that expensive, right? It does not have to be expensive. Depends on which one you choose, okay? I haven't had hot water for, oh my gosh, Mel, in 2 weeks. Wow. So hopefully God, bring that, look, let them figure that out, Lord, for her so they can bring it back. We need some hot water in the house, honey. Finally thawed out today. Wow. Sorry about that, Mia. Praying for you, love. That they hurry up and get that thing fixed for you. Hello, Anissa. How are you doing, honey? Honey, honey, honey. How you doing, sweetheart? Happy to see you in the place today. As Low Carb Queen say you in the place. You in the place. All right. So back to the subject for the night. Healthy foods, a healthy living in a food desert. We can do this, y'all. All right, even if we're in a food desert. So now we're talking now finding fiber and smart carbs without healthy or health food stores, right? So we may not have health food stores that where we live in our neighborhoods, where some neighborhoods has 3 or 4 health food stores on every corner. Okay. Well, again, there are fiber options as well in those corner stores that we were talking about, such as, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, and places of that nature, mom and pop shops. Okay. You have beans, canned beans. Okay. Beans provide protein, beans provide fiber as well. All right. You have oats. Okay. Now we already, you hear people all the time on YouTube talking about overnight oats, eating oatmeal, especially during this time. It would be great to eat it during this weather. They talking about these, this winter weather storm. We talked about a little earlier today. People still, like a lot of people their lights were turned off and things of that nature. So you can do overnight oats, or just if you have a stove where, a running stove, you can do, regular oatmeal and things of that nature, put you some good, like even when it comes to like, some people put fruit in their oatmeal. You can even get canned fruit, get the canned fruit, hopefully in water. That'd be a better option than in, or juice. I'm sorry, water and juice versus like syrup, those are two of the better options than the syrup. Okay. Of course. And even say if they don't have the one in the water or the juice, you can always, get you can get the one in the can with juice. I'm saying that wrong. You can get the one with syrup. What you can do is to help get rid of some of that sweetness. You can always rinse that syrup off of that, pour it out, and then rinse, the fruit, and you can add that to your oatmeal. Okay, that's an option for you. You want to make sure you can get either the oats that are that you have to put on the stove that take a long time to cook, the regular ones, or you can get the instant oats or oatmeals. Okay, they have it sometimes they have them, in the little carton. Sometimes they have them in the little individual packages. It's up to you, whatever your money can buy. All right. Try to get the plain ones or the low sugar ones, and that way it'll be more healthy than the ones that have a whole lot of sugar in it. And then you can, like I said, add fruit to it, flaxseed. You can add, a little bit of sugar if you want to do, that way you can actually, put the amount of sugar in it yourself. That way what you're putting in your oats. You can put cinnamon in it to help, sweeten it up a little bit. It's different options you can do, but oats or oatmeal is a healthy option, at the corner stores. All right. You have apples, oranges, and bananas. Yes. Some of those corner stores have those options, fresh, options for you there. If you cannot find those, again, you can get the ones that are in the can or in the little carton that we normally get our kids, and you can just rinse that stuff off and eat that. To get some of that sugar out of it. Popcorn, plain and light butter popcorn, good snack to have, so because I know a lot of us love snacks still. Whole grain bread or tortillas. If you have that there, you get that option versus say the white breads, or chips. Those are healthier options for you. Also, when you talk about carbs, the carbs of it all, yes, carbs. You want to try to refrain from some of those carbs on your better health journey, especially when you're type 2 diabetic. You're talking, know that it's okay to have carbs. There's nothing wrong with carbs, right? It's just the amount that you eat and then the way you eat it. Okay. Again, like I like, and I've heard from my dietitian and my doctors and even people on YouTube, it's a better way to eat when it comes to carbs. You can front load. When I say front load, that means eating your protein, eating some of the protein, some of the veggies before you start eating the carbs. That way you have a little bit of protein, a little bit of veggies going down your throat first, right? So it can kind of be in your system first, and then add your carbs to it too, and that way you're front loading your body with fiber and protein, which is two of the macros, and then here comes the sugar coming in. That way it kind of, what you want to call it, it kind of helps make that glucose not spike so much. Okay. And that helps people that are diabetic or insulin resistant, or people that just want to make sure they keep their sugars at a stable level. Okay. All right. So you also, again, pair those carbs with protein, with fiber, or even with fat. Okay. Because I talked about the protein and the fiber, but also you can do fat as well. So like, say for instance, when I eat an apple, which is what we're saying I can get from one of these stores, I like eating pecans with it. And they sell pecans too. They have some nuts. They have the peanuts, they have pecans, they have almonds. You don't have to get the chocolate coated ones. Or if you do, save that for an indulgence day, and then you can eat that with that apple. And that's a good snack. Okay. I also add cinnamon on my apple too. And, that makes it even better snack. Okay. Because cinnamon definitely helps with blood sugar stabilization as well. All right. So the biggest thing is understanding your macros. And when we talk about macros, for those who don't know, we're talking, protein, fats, and carbs. Okay. Protein, fats, and carbs. And you want to make sure you know what you need to eat when it comes to you making sure that you're healthiest. You can always go to the TDEE calculator, TDEE calculator. You put that in Google search, and then you can put your information in that they ask you to find out what your macros are. That will help you. Also, you can go to your dietitian and ask that information as well. Okay. All right. Next thing on my list is simple macro friendly swaps using what's available. Okay. Now, when it comes to that, you're talking if you want to like swap different things. So again, like I was saying, instead of doing those chips, do some popcorn. Okay. Popcorn is a more, nutrient dense food than say a chip. Okay. The regular chips. All right. You can swap sugary cereal with oatmeal. Okay. Because of course those cereals are in there. Sugary cereals is not good for you. Chips is not so good for you. Let those be for the indulgence days if you decide to have, a little bit of that stuff. But heavy on, like I said, the better options for you. Also pastries, which are like those things, like honey buns and and things of that nature, little Debbie snacks and all that stuff. Instead of doing that, you can have some toast with peanut butter. Okay. Even a peanut butter jelly sandwich is still, because you got your fiber, you got your in you got your protein, and you have your fiber, protein, and some carbs in a peanut butter jelly sandwich. All right, you have soda. Instead of having soda, you can always have a diet soda, flavored water. They have the even some of the, I see like if energy drinks, they have the vitamin waters in there. You can put, they have lemon juice. Even if they don't have lemons, they have lemon juice or lime juice, and you can squeeze that in your water if you don't like just plain water. So you have those. You have carbonated water. Celsius. What is it called? I can't think of the water I'm thinking about, but just the different waters. All right. Um, Also, like I love mix-ins. Right here today, I have a Sunkist mix-in. It's an orange flavor, and I put that in my water, especially during the winter time when I really don't want to drink that much. For some reason I don't get as thirsty because I'm not outside in the sun all the time. Because it's not as much sun. This helps me get the water in still. When you put a mix in, yeah, you may have to think about, how many you put, eat a drink a day. You don't want to drink a whole lot, but this definitely helps me get more water in if I put a mix in. So I'll drink sometimes, some bottled waters or some regular. I use the one out of my out of my I can drink faucet water to be honest, but I don't. But I've been living here forever, so I'm used to my waters, my faucet water. But I'll drink the water out of my refrigerator, or I'll drink bottled waters, what have you. And then I put sometimes I put lemon in it sometimes. Sometimes I drink the water plain, or sometimes I do a mix in, just so I can make sure I'm getting enough water to stay hydrated. Okay, which is what is important for us to do on a better health journey. All right. So again, so then one more thing is candy bars. Instead of doing that, you can get nuts. Okay, again, like I was saying before, or you can do fruit or do nuts and fruit. They have like little packages there. I've noticed with like trail mix and things of that nature that has good, like ones for energy, more energy, just ones that are just good, really, really good choices that's in those type stores, those corner stores that we're used to seeing, on our corners, especially if you live in a food desert area. Okay. So, when it comes to swapping foods out, that doesn't mean this is always, everything is gonna be clean. Okay, clean foods. If you heard people talk about it like that, but you just want to make sure that you are getting better options. Okay, as you continue to learn to live that sweet, healthy life. Yes. Okay. So, and all of it is still got something to do with your mindset, making sure, let me find a way, to get to where I understand that health is so important, and how can I find ways, no matter what situation I'm in, how can I make sure that I am healthier? How can I make sure I'm healthier? Even if I don't have all the, like I said, Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's and the Sprouts and all these other, very high end restaurants, very high end grocery stores or what have you, because they may be a little bit too, expensive for you or what have you, and that's okay. I just want to make sure I gave you some other options, just in case your money is looking funny, just in case your transportation, you're lacking transportation, in case you are there's for some reason you don't have a lot of grocery stores in your area, and because of the location, or like I said, store availability. I know a lot of grocery stores, for some reason, they start closing down in certain areas of town, maybe because they're going bankrupt or something, or people are not shopping as much or whatever. I also want to make sure, like I said, you understand that if you have the funds, you can do DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all that other stuff. There are delivery services that are available as well for you. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, and you know, we do, like I said, understand that we are not perfect by no means. By no means. Okay. We want to live in excellence if we can. We want to strive for excellence. Okay. I mean, we're starting in a different place in our lives, because of, whatever, environmental factors or hereditary things or whatever we're doing when it comes to better health, or striving for better health. But we want to make sure whatever we do, that we understand that, health is not built in imperfect places. Health is built in imperfect places by persistent people. Health is built in imperfect places by persistent people. Okay. All right. Again, health is built in imperfect places by persistent people. Okay. I thought that was nice to share. I got that from Mr. ChatGPT. All right. I thought that was neat to share. Okay, so let me jump back in this chat and see what we're talking about in here. Okay, I'm just going through it, see what I'm seeing. All right, beautiful. Of course, said yes, ma'am. I'm sorry to hear about the water issue. I pray it gets resolved soon. Yes. Hajarine Bellflower says she is so proud of you. It's worth saying it again. Yes. And Hajarine is so overjoyed and she thanks you so much. Yes, from the bottom of her heart. Truly so. All right. So Monty says avocado and berries are great for fiber as well. Yes. And there are some stores that do have berries in there, in these corner stores. It just depends on, like I said, where you live and, what is offered to you. But yes, avocado and berries are definitely great for fiber. Thank you for that, Monty. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And avocados also is a great healthy fat as well. Yes. So you got fiber and fat when it comes to avocados. All right. Mia says, I got some barley and lentils to try to mix things up. I think I saw JC Kalena Jane make some lentils. Yes. Lentil soup. People make, just eating lentils, as just a, just as a side, dish. That's awesome as well. Yes, that is so true. And when you say that, Mia, I'm also thinking about, when it comes to those stores that I also mentioned as well, those corner stores, they also have um, beans and lentils there as well. So that's another option that I did not say, in my spiel. There's another option. Now I do see y'all a super chat. Miss Jerlene, I thank you so much for the super chat. Love you, love you, love you. Yes, thank you so much, Miss Jerlene. All right. So let me see what else. Money. Cookie says she love her some avocado. Me too. I love avocado. And avocado doesn't even have like a big taste. It's very, very mild taste, almost tasteless. We put a little salt and pepper on it to kind of, enhance that flavor a little bit. Yes, yes, yes. But yes, I love avocado. I love guacamole. Awesome stuff. Yes, yes. All right. It's Darium. How are you doing? How are you doing, my friend, honey? All right. Monty says I get the Quaker protein oats as well. Yes. Thank you for that, Monty. Yes, yes. All right. And then Felicia said, I saw a video on savory oatmeal. I want to try it out. Yes. Because you don't have to have sweet oatmeal. You don't have to put like fruit on your oatmeal. Some people love that. That's an option. But you also can put nuts, flaxseed, and things of that nature in your oatmeal as well. You can put another thing, like if you don't want fruit on it, you can always do like, if you think about what they're putting in there, like strawberries and cream, you got what else in the store? They have like a lot of people like maple and brown sugar, things like that. So the good thing about buying the plain oatmeal, um, you can always add the little stuff, but you can add it, whatever you want to put in. You have, the option to put the amount that you want to put in, whatever is healthiest for you, whatever fits your macros for the day. If you do it yourself, if you buy the plain, say oatmeal, and then you put, your own, additives in it, to add to your taste. Yes. Thank you for that, Felicia Marie B. Yes, avocado toast is good, Grace. Yes, that is great stuff. Cookie says, I just knocked out a ratio yogurt, added apples and pecans and a little granola to it. Yummy. It's yummy to her tummy. Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Cookie. And some, places have that yogurt in it as well. Some of those corner stores now, such as Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, mom and pop shops. And I know there's probably other stores. I'm just naming the ones that I know about in my area. Felicia Marie B with like cheese. I don't know what that means. All right, Darian says, wait Are we wrenching off fruit cocktail? We are wrenching it off, honey. Yes, we gonna wrench it off. Yes. Now, if you want it now, okay, if that goes with your macros, for the day, do what you do, okay? Enjoy it. And like I said, you can also use it as that's your indulgence, little dessert, okay, for the night. That's fine too. If it's, if you're going by macros, to get healthier, then you can do that as well. Yes, yes. And thank you, Darian, for inspiring me to talk about this a little more. This food desert, yes, and how we can eat healthier, even if we don't have, the grocery stores all over, the area, or can't afford the grocery stores, that higher end grocery stores or what have you, that has more of the, the quote unquote, I love quote the air quotes, yeah, foods choices. All right, beautiful color says that sounds good, Cookie. Yes, it does. All right. Yes, you got the eggs, bacon, and cheese. Yes, yes. Thank you, because I was confused by that. Yes. Eggs, bacon, and cheese, really good, really good. And those stores do have bacon as well. That's another option that you have. They have packs of bacon in those stores as well. That could be a good option for protein. All right. Cookie says, "Oh, Grace, you know it. Feta cheese, balsamic glaze, pepper flakes. Yummy." Yep, yep. All right. Thank you all for sharing some things that you all like, as a food choice, that they can actually go to these type stores and get nowadays. All right. Grace says carbohydrates making people happy since the beginning of time. Yes. Very good. Very important to have carbohydrates. Very, very important. We need those carbohydrates for energy. Yes. Okay. Unless you're on a diet like keto or carnivore, then you don't have to have those. They get the energy from that extra fat. Okay. That's why a lot of times the fat is up when they get more fat. Like say, for instance, keto. You're talking the ketogenic diet is, low carb, high fats. That's what that LCF, no, LCHF is, low carb, high fat. If you've seen that, when they talk about the ketogenic diet or keto diet. All right. Grace says, FMB, please do a slay or nay video, honey. All right. Cookie, you fancy now. Huh? You fancy, huh? Yes. Okay, so Felicia says she will take care of that for you, Grace. All right. Cookie says, Evelyn, it was delicious. Grace turned me on to that ratio yogurt. I wasn't a yogurt fan until I tried those, honey. Yes. Also, okay, okay. So when I don't really care for yogurt myself. I have tried yogurt before, and ratio I've tried So Good because it's low in sugar, and I've tried ratio. The only thing about ratio, I had looked, and I told you all before, whoever's on the line before, when downsize did their little yogurt taste testing, and they made a great point. Is ratio really yogurt? Yeah, so then like, yeah, I really don't care for yogurt anyway, and since they done made that point, yeah, I don't want it. Just a reason for not having it, which I don't have to have it, right? I know a lot of people do. I was thinking I was just trying to follow suit, like trying to get a couple, a little bit more protein. Ratio does have a lot of, a good number of protein in it to help, build, make sure you have enough protein for the day. But I'm like, why am I trying to make myself eat this stuff? I don't like it. I don't like it, and that's okay. I may try it again, another brand, to see if I like it. I know a lot of people say the triple zero oikos is really good. I'm not, I'm going to try. I may try another one day, but we shall see. We shall see. All right. So again, like I said, these are options that we can do, y'all. It's not something that you have to do. It's not, we're not going to nail you on the cross if you don't. It's just, letting you know some options. If for some reason you are in a food desert, or someone who is, and they want to eat healthier, or whatever, to help them, get to their best or healthiest selves, they can do these things as well. Don't count these people out. There's ways to eat healthy or healthier when it comes to people that don't have the means or the wherewithal to get to those, um, the stores that are more, considered or deemed healthy stores. Okay. All right. Cookie Grace, I've come a long way, baby. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, and you're doing very well from what we hear, Miss Cookie J. All right, beautiful says true for me, Grace, with the carbs. And Grace has great food suggestions. She does, she does. Yes. Cookie, thanks for reminding me of ratio. Yes. TDEE, total daily energy expenditure calculator to help. Thank you, Darian, for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Darian, I didn't see you sneak in. You see how he do. He be in the bushes, then he comes sneaking in on us. Yes, he does. Yes, sometimes he's quiet. Sometimes he's, not so quiet. But yes, thank you, Darren, for coming in, honey. All right, again. All right, beautiful. I'm Color said, Cookie, I was supposed to tag you in my response about Grace food suggestions. All right, let's see what else. Darren says, hey to Cookie and the Queen, low carb queen, honey. He said low carb land. Okay. All right. It gives some good ideas for in her videos. Yes, Grace does. She gives good ideas, especially on high protein things. Yes. um, Found a pretty cool protein calculator today. Okay, so gymgeek.com, Grace said, is a very good protein calculator for those who are looking for a calculator to track your protein. Love you over there slaying with those outfits, Miss Beautiful Color, right? She be looking so cute, put together. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful Evelyn. She is queen. Yes. Good evening, Jerlene. Thank you for coming in, sweetheart. I'm happy you were able to make it. I know sometimes you be asleep around this time. I really appreciate you coming in, love. Love you so much. All right, Cookie says, sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't. Enjoy's got nuts. Mounds don't. Oh my good. Thank you. Thank you, Jerlene, again for the super chat. I greatly appreciate you, honey. All right, Pammy says, hello, all joining in. Honey, you right on time, boo. And whatever you have not seen, please check the replay. I greatly appreciate it. I think people are just showing some love. Some of these things are not coming over, so I can't see them. They're coming over as boxes, but I'm sure it's some love shown. Let me see. Money says, beautiful, I'm colored, working with you on my body fat goal by Memorial Day. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yes, yes, yes. Hope you all reach it. Yes. I said by summer. I'm going to give myself to summer. Hello, Miss Linda McDuffie. How you doing, sweetheart? Thanks for coming in. Happy you made it to the chat today. Hope you're doing well. All right, Mia says, DoorDash doesn't bring my hot fudge sundae with marshmallow fluff. Sorry to hear that, boo. Sorry. Look, they say, honey, they be done brought that stuff, and it's not going to be hot fudge no more. It's going to be a hot mess is what it's going to be. Because all that stuff going to be done melted by now. I mean, by the time it get to you. Oh, my gosh. All right, Monty, let's go, let's go, let's go. I am rooting y'all on. All right, Purple Bellflower says, you and Evelyn finna be showing out, Monty, right? Girl, they already showing out. They've been showing out for a long time. They finna show out even more, honey. They ain't gonna know how to act this summer. Summer body ready, honey. Monty says, for sure, just got my in-body Friday. Okay, so you ready. Ready. Okay, we see you. We see you. Mm-hmm. That's a good word, Kim J. Thank you so much. Beautiful. I'm colored. Apologize. Oh, you sweetheart. You okay, boo? You okay? You know we ain't. You know. Thanks for coming in, honey. Hope class was well. Love avocado with toast. Yes, great stuff. Great stuff. All right, everybody just saying hello to one another. Let me kind of go down a little bit more. Okay, so Money says I started adding my skinny mix syrups to plain oats and protein powder. That's good. That's good. That sounds great too. Now, when I did do that ratio yogurt, I add my little skinny mix or Mateo sugar free syrups in there as well. So I had oatmeal. I'm sorry to my oatmeal. In my ratio, I had what are them things called? Granola. I don't like oatmeal, so I ain't even eat that. I'm gonna try. What's crazy? I like oatmeal cookies, no raisins, but I like it with chocolate chip. And I don't like oats. I don't like oatmeal for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it's a texture thing because it's all wet and I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But I want to try it again though, because now that I'm on this GLP-1 journey, maybe my taste buds take a little different. So I may try it and see how it goes. We should see. All right, but yes, I did put some skinny mixes in my the ratio yogurt, and I had granola in it. I had flaxseed in it. What else I had in it? I had blueberries in it. Honey, I had so much stuff in that stuff. It was crazy. I'm like, what am I doing? And peanuts. I mean, I'm not on peanuts. Pecans. Yes, all that. So y'all know, I really don't care for the ratio. I mean, the yogurt period. Funny. I was trying to make myself like that stuff. Grace says that's a great tip, Miney. Yes. Mia says, Darren, do you like water log fruit cocktail? Nope. Don't like it, honey. It's like drinking mushy water. Yeah, that's gross. That sounds nasty. All right, Brenda says, if I miss saying hello back to anyone, please forgive me. It's not intentional. I've been in the kitchen cooking the next few days, meals. And so she meal prepping, y'all. I know that's right. And not looking at my phone. And that's okay, sweetheart. You're multitasking. Just, I really appreciate you being in the chat tonight. Thought it not robbery to come and see about us. Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Brenda. All right. Purple Bellflower says, Grace, that Kodiak banana, not oatmeal, got me in a chokehold. Nuts. Grace, let me say that again. Grace, that Kodiak banana nut oatmeal got me in a chokehold ever since you showed us your pantry. Okay. It sounds good. Mill says, yeah, it's still been sucking up that sugar sugar all that time. Yeah, it's still been sucking up that sugar all that time. I like it in fruit juice, not heavy syrup. Yeah. Yep. You are just fine, Miss Brenda. Yes, you are. It's Darian says, Mia, I would love for Kim J to do a flight or delight or some rinsed off fruit cocktail with the cherry. Fruit cocktail. Look, I remember I'm not a fruit cocktail person. I don't like that really. Maybe I can do mandarin oranges though. Maybe I'll do fruit cocktail just for you, Darian. Oh God. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. We'll see. But I will rinse that stuff off for real, for real. Even my canned veg, I buy canned vegetables still, okay? I like canned green beans. I like some canned black eyed peas and some field peas. I will eat those. Yes. And corn. I do. I will. I don't really buy the fresh of those. Sometimes I buy the fresh green beans. I don't be wanting to buy it. I buy frozen of the other things that I said, or I do can. And I rinse that mug right on off. I was doing my little Chipotle bowl. I don't know if I said that on the video. I think I did. But yeah, I rinse some beans right on off. Really good. Take all that. Because you know how when you open a can of beans, you'll see that little what you call it? Frothy stuff on it, or some like little white stuff sitting on it. Yeah, I'm rinsing all that. All that starch coming off. I'm pouring that out of there. And then I'm going to rinse that thing off to take some of that sodium off. Because I want to put my real seasons on it, right? The seasons I like, whatever. So I need to rinse all that sodium off so I can add a little bit of Lars on it, or a little bit of adobo, or and some Mrs. Dash or Dash now they call it. Garlic and herb seasoning and some, just a little thing, whatever, salt, little pepper, not salt, little pepper, little onion powder, little garlic powder, little stuff like that. A little bit of butter or some, a little bit of bacon or whatever, whatever I feel that day. Yep, the zhuzh it up. Yep. All right, but yeah, those fruit cocktails, I might try it. I may try one. So Brenda says, I'm so glad I caught this live tonight. It's been a minute. Thank you. And I'm glad you are here, sweetheart. I'm glad you are here. Yes. Linda says, Miss Linda, excuse me, put a handle on that. I like ratio. Yep. I know a lot of people love ratio. Yes. All right. Thank you, Mia. Miss Brenda says, Pammy says, I haven't found ratio yogurt yet. Oh, really? Oh, wow. They're at Walmart, just a lot of different stores. Not sure where, what is in your city, Pammy. Maybe somebody in California can help you figure out what stores they're in. But I know Walmart has ratio. Grace says, Bellflower, would you believe me if I told you it's still sitting there? My pantry has become my personal supermarket. Yes, especially when you walk. Oh no, I'm thinking about some with Mia. My bad. Thinking about Mia. All right. So Cookie says, Brenda, you finished cooking now? Are you? Are you? Are you? Mia says, yes, yes, Mr. Darium. That would be very interesting or on rinsed off fruit cocktail. Grace says, Pammy, Walmart. Yep, Walmart has it, definitely. Queen says, hey, Miss Linda McDuffie. Dairy says ratio, the 20 and 25 grams are dairy product, not yogurt. There you go, says Sir Darium. Oh, yeah, we see you, Darium, with your little picture. Yep, nice picture, nice picture. All right, so Pammy says, oh, I guess my eyes went straight to the 000 Oikos since I know I like that. Yeah, you don't have to eat ratio, honey. It's up to you if you want to try it. Again, Mr. Darren said it's not an actual yogurt, okay? They have those cultures in and everything, but it is a dairy product. All right. So Locar Queen says Noosa is the one I like, honey. That's the yogurt brand she likes. Okay. Yes, yes. All right, y'all. That's another yogurt. Check it out if you like. That's an option for you. All right. Brenda says, Cookie, no, but I'm finished with all the prep. Now the pot is sitting on the stove doing its thing, honey. Yes. It's like the ratio of the protein and taste. Yes. I'll take it. I'll take the ratio for protein and taste. Okay. It's still a dairy product. It's still a dairy product. So Grace says, I like the Noosa pumpkin flavor, although I haven't had it since 2024. Okay. Thanks for that, y'all. For those who want Noosa, you can try that pumpkin flavor. And it probably comes around, definitely every between September, October, during that, that fall season. But it may be there all year. I'm not sure. But definitely I know with pumpkin flavor, sometimes it's in and out of season. Yeah. All right, so Mia says, I tried the ratio fiber lemon meringue pie yogurt product. I like it better than some. Okay, thank you, Mia, for that. Grace says cookie and fiber. Yep. All right. So Beautiful Color says, love ya. I love y'all. Gotta sign off, but we'll see you all again soon. Great live, Kim J. Thank you so much, Beautiful Color. Enjoy your night. All right, Pammy says, Mill, that sounds good, honey. All right, Bellflower says, no way, Grace. I'm getting locked in on something I like and don't let up. So when she get locked in, honey, she don't want to let up off of it. I got you, boo. Mine is a supermarket too. I need to clean off them shelves. Okay, she's talking about that little pantry. All right. Brenda says I got up at 5 a.m. yesterday morning and cleaned out our little pantry, or an entire pantry at that. All right. Awesome sauce for that, Miss Brenda. All right. Miss Linda says, hey there, look, our queen. And I definitely need to clean my pantry out too. I got a lot of stuff that I need to just throw away. I haven't eaten in a long time, so I need to purge. Need to purge. Overachiever, Brenda. Miss Linda said, my favorite yogurt is Oikos, and that's 15 gram. I also remember downsides talking about, it seemed like the higher that protein go up, you know, Mr. Chris don't like that. He like, oh, no, 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 honey. Mm-mm. It don't taste right. And of course, that's his opinion. All right. Miss Jerlene says, good evening, Miss Brenda. Felicia said, me too, Miss Linda. She liked that Oikos as well. 15-gram yogurt. Brenda says she's laughing at Cookie. She's a hoot, okay? Not by a long shot. It was long overdue, honey. I'm the world's biggest procrastinator and lazy, honey. Yes, I procrastinate my behind off as well. Grace says, Linda, I like Oikos too, but I get the 20 grams. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Bellflower Spring Cleaning is coming, honey. Cookie says, Brenda, I'm a procrastinator too, sugar. All right, let me see. Brenda said, I knew you were special. Cookie. Yes, she is. Mia says, this is a little off the topic from Food Desert's discussion. I'm actually done with my little spiel unless you want to add some more to it. So, yeah, remember I said we try to get through that topic right quick, and then we can get into the shenanigans. So, let the shenanigans begin, honey. Yes, I have one of those very rare insurance that allows Zepbound for weight loss. We just had a coworker get a letter that says our insurance is giving requirements to stay on the medication. Awesome, Mia. Great stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm happy for you all. That is awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Hopefully, other people in the community, will get those letters soon as well. All right, Jenny says, LMA, oh, Kim J, I feel you on the oatmeal texture, honey. Yes, like what is going on? Grace is celebrating Mia as well. Mia says, oh, I don't read that. Yeah, Mia, come on. Inquiring minds over here, honey. Cookie says, the suspense of it all, honey. What kind of requirements do you have to have? I wonder what more they would need for those requirements, Mia. Jenny says. Hello, Jenny Cal. Mrs. Jerlene says. Darren says canned veggies and canned fruit are two different things. It is. They are. They are. But I just want to talk a little bit about both of them, honey. Yes. Thank you for that, Darian. For those who did not know, they're two different things. Yes, they are. All right. I love mandarin oranges. Aren't they good? Honey, when I say I like, oh my gosh, what do I like? I do like the mandarin oranges in the little container thingies. I love mandarin oranges. I eat mandies pretty much every day. Every day. The fresh ones from Aldi, yes, they have 2 grams. Even though they have carbs, they also have 2 grams of fiber in them. So I'm very strategic about, my grocery store hauls. Yes. I get gala apples also that I love so much dearly from Aldi as well. And they have 4 grams of fiber in it, even though they have those carbs. But I also put those pecans with it too, honey. And it's just a celebration in my mouth, honey. Okay. As well as a cinnamon on it. And sometimes I just put a little bit of sugar-free caramel on that to top it off. It's so good. Just like a dessert, honey, but a good dessert. So it's great ways for those people that have sweet tooths. It's many ways to satisfy that sweet tooth, okay? Without picking all the sugary items, like the pastries and things of that nature, the cookies and all that stuff. We can, find fruit of it all that can help you too with that sugar craving options, okay? All right, Mia says it's saying BMI 35 or BMI 27 with 2 comorbidities. I would be able to get on that medication then. Definitely so. Yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. For those who aren't actually going to meet those requirements, that they can also continue to go with Zepbound. That is great, Mia. All right. Maybe your grandfather in, though, Mia. So Mia, your BMI is under 35, or you don't have two more comorbidities. All right, Mia says that you had when you started the medication. Let me see. Hold up. All right, so Mia, let me go back to read her comment in full. It says BMI 35 or BMI 27 with two comorbidities that you had when you started the medication. Okay, gotcha. Good night, Miss Jenny. I'm sorry. Good point, Cookie. What am I reading? Wow. Okay, so Low Carb Queen says frozen veggies for me. All right, Darren says I love some frozen fruit. It's a great snack. That's another thing, Darren. Thanks for saying that. That's a good option too. Frozen fruit, yes. And what's great about it too is fresh fruit. It only lasts so long, right? And also, and I'm going back to this, Mr. Darium, fresh veggies also don't last for so long, right? But you got those frozen options, frozen veggies, frozen fruit. They last longer, but it's still really good for you. Okay. Awesome options for us to be able to choose, especially those who are in a food desert. You have those options. Okay. Grace says that's what freaks me out about PIs in Mia, because if providers fill them out wrong, it's over. That's true. If providers, which is your doctors, fill out the your forms out wrong to send to the insurance company to get approval, then definitely that can freak you out because you may not get covered. Okay, so you got to make sure your PAs are filled out properly. Cookie says, "Ooh, Mia. So even if a person has been covered, they won't be covered any longer if they didn't meet those requirements when they started." It's Darren says, "Okay, great folks. I have to go to bed. Serta and so good night, honey. Have a great night." All those things are calling him. He's sleeping. Store brand fruit. Yep, yep. Those are good too. That's another good thing. Thank you, Darren, for that. Mia says, yeah, you don't have to have name brand. You don't have to have name brand. Store brand is also okay. All right, Mia says, I think we have had a lot of us work that have lost a lot of pounds, but I was thinking we are going to have to watch our team closely or filling out our paperwork. Yes, so true, so true. I know some doctors, they're very good about making sure, and they'll tell you we got to make sure whatever I put on there, make sure I put everything I can on there to show your case, to prove your case that you need this medication. So there are some doctors out there that are actually going above and beyond to make sure that you are being able to be approved for this medication, and they're advocating for us. There's some that's not, but there are some that are out there, good doctors that are trying to make sure that we get, the medication that we need. So wholesome, Darium. Good night, sweetheart. Sweet dreams, Darium. All right, Mia says, yes, Cookie, that was the way the letter read to me. Very interesting to see what can change in retrospect. Yes. Wow, that's cold. Yeah. Grace says, Cookie, have your grandkids had school with the weather and all? I mean, Grace says, also, can I start a petition so Florida schools can get their snow day already? We have snow days like really in the weirdest times, though. It'd be the weirdest times. Like it's straight sunny outside, ain't nothing going on. It's like bright and hot, and they like, oh yeah, we got a snow day today. We should have a snow day when it was having snow flurries out here, right? That's weird. All right, backwards. Cookie says, Grace, it's back to the 60s now. They got to miss one day last week. One of them got the flu, so she missed a few days. Now my daughter has the flu. Oh my gosh. Well, we hope and pray that, that flu hurry up and get on out of there, help her immune system build up. I know I was under the weather myself this weekend after it got really cold, or whatever, and so I started pumping up vitamin C in me to make sure my immune can try to fight off a nasty cold or worse. So yeah, I'm feeling much better today. Yep. So I'm happy about that. But yes, we pray for your baby, Miss Cookie, that she gets well soon. All right, so Jerlene says, not a yogurt fan, but I enjoy oatmeal with cinnamon, blueberries, and walnuts. Thank you for that, Miss Jerlene, letting people know how they can enjoy their oatmeal. All right. Congratulations, Mia. Miss Jerlene says, all right, losing it. Grace says, oh no, for quick recovery for her. Praying for it, Cookie. Jerlene, that sounds delightful, doesn't it? Okay, let's see what else I got. I'm at a 40 BMI. I started at a 60 BMI with hypertension and swelling. Okay, so there you go. Good night, Miss Jenny. All right, good night, Miss Anissa. Cookie says you're doing a great, Mia. I would have met the requirements for continued coverage too. Yep, me as well. All right, Linda says, Miss Linda says, yes, I just want through with my end. Okay, so she went through her end on the doctor and insurance situation. She almost was taken off of Manjaro, shaking my head. Just this week, she received it. Okay, great. I went to 2 weeks without my shot. Ain't that crazy? Like, why you want to take us off as type 2 diabetic patients? Now, listen, this is what trips me out. Now, you tell me, talking about powers to be, they tell us once a diabetic, always diabetic. So give me my medicine. Don't play with my medicine. Don't play with my life. Okay. I found something that I don't mind taking, that is helping me out. So why would you take it from me? Ain't that crazy? Truth be told. Truth be told. That is ridiculous. Okay. I remember Miss Jerlene, saying some of that same thing. Like, she got to be careful because they want, they may try to take her off of that medication. Manjaro. That is ludicrous. Ludicrous. But I'm happy you got your medicine back, Miss Linda, and now you're back on track. Yes. That make you want to say, let me drink some more sodas or eat some bad food, or more sugary food so I can get my A1C back up so I won't get off the medication. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're doing, but I'm just saying it make you think like that. Like, why would you take me off this medication? When as soon as I get off, if once a diabetic, always diabetic, my A1C gonna go back up. That don't make sense. Make it make sense. Help me understand it. Kind sirs and ma'ams. Just ludicrous. All right, so Mia says, yeah, I got a lot of pictures and information. I give my team to try to help with all the information needed to prove my case. I mean, 60 BMI was bad, but now I'm still on hypertension medications. Okay, so therefore you have hypertension still, as well as, like you said, your BMI is not where, they want it to be still. So you're working on it and you're doing a great job, sweetheart. Yes. Thank you for prayers, Kim J. You're welcome, sweetheart. You're welcome. She will be okay very, very soon. I speak that out there in the atmosphere in the name of Jesus. All right, so Ms. Linda says, please, I'm sorry, because my A1C went down. Right, I understand exactly what you're saying. Because Ms. Linda A1C went down, because Ms. Jerlene A1C went down, and doing very, very well. That just lets you, it's commendable that your A1C has went down. Right? That's a great thing. Now it's almost like they're trying to punish us. Like, what is going on? That's one reason why I was scared to go in October. I skipped that appointment, y'all. I'm like, child, please. I keep hearing these people talking about they trying to take you off the medication. I did. I skipped it. Nope, don't want to go. Try me again in February. Yep. So I'm going in February now. Yep. Because I'm like, this is crazy. I heard some people say, like, if you get 3, normals, normal A1Cs, that they may want to take you off, and you never know who, what insurance company is going to do that. They keep changing these insurance rules around and things like that. It make you want to do things that shouldn't be done, right? Crazy. But y'all, make sure you're doing what you need to do to get your job done. You got to do what you got to do, honey. I'm just saying. Um, Lena says because of, I read that. And then she says my insurance will not supply Manjaro due to weight loss. Right, right. I got you. Yep. So say for instance, with Linda, her A1C is down. She's trying to lose some weight, right? Still lose more weight because she has lost some. She's trying to lose more weight to get to a certain, I guess, goal that she has in life. Because of course that also helps, with better health, right? So she's like, I'm getting a benefit from the Manjaro for A1C going down, yes, and that's gone down beautifully, right? And then also, a tool to help her lose weight, just like it did for me, just like it did for Miss Jerlene, Miss Bellflower, a couple other people that's in this chat or has been in this chat, Miss Miney. Miss Miney, you are on Manjaro, right? I think you are. But yeah, so just a few other people instead of calling all names, and I mean, Miss Jenny as well. Yes. So with us being on that medication, of course, and Mr. Darium, A1C has gone down, but we also want to lose some weight as well. Or some people have gotten to their maintenance, and also which is commendable for them as well. A1C and at maintenance, that's awesome, 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 right? But for those who are still trying to lose a little bit of weight, we want to continue this medicine, but also more importantly, which is where this new series, Sugar Talks, that I'm going to embark upon on this channel, just to talk about the sugars of it all, trying to talk about, different things that, that comes to mind when it comes to, diabetes, what have you. But, when it comes to that, I think we still should be able to, be supplied this medication, long term, so that we can make sure our sugars do not go back up, and become uncontrollable again. You know, again, if so called, we will always be a diabetic, right? Wow, Linda Cookie says, that's a shame. It is. It's such a shame. All right, Mill says, Linda, I was so proud you got your medications. Praise God. Right. All right. Miney says, thank goodness my insurance doesn't require pre-auth for Manjaro. Okay, there you go. So yes, mine is on Manjaro. My memory serves me correct. All right. Sometimes, I get little singing moments and forget, whatever. Maybe a little ADD. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I forget some things. All right. So Grace says, that's so irritated to me, Linda, because they know your A1C is down to do this therapy and know they are trying to cut us all off. Ain't this crazy? Crazy. Miss Linda said, okay. She laughing. Oh no, yes, Monica. Just ridiculous. And that's why a lot of times I know, some people may say when they were talking about, all this compounding and stuff like that, and how people were on Zepbound and they were losing their coverage and everything, I kind of stayed quiet about it because, first of all, I don't like, I'm not one to say, well, shoot, I ain't got to worry about it because I'm on Manjaro. No, because they can do the same thing with people on Manjaro, right? They can do the same thing. They do what they want to do, right? So I, had compassion for, all of you that had that issue, had to go on compound because of, them deciding, oh, I'm not going to cover it now. That was crazy. That's crazy. When it's doing, it's helping so many people. I don't understand that. All right. So Grace says, Mighty, you are a blessed child. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Mill says, yeah, it doesn't make sense to endanger you all, your lives for sake of saving them some pennies. Right. Exactly. Kim, she's Miss Linda laughing at me. All right. Jolene says, I skipped my appointment also. See, they got to skip appointments and all. Like, come on. I said I was scared, honey. I'm just gonna let you know I was scared, y'all. I was scared. Miss Linda said they offered me Wegovy. See, nobody want to go no doggone Wegovy. Not that we don't have to now. I mean, it's not wrong with Wegovy, but I'm saying we over here on this, this Zep. We on these Manjaro. We want to stay over here on this Tirzepatide side. Like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Don't try to fix it. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it, y'all. Leave that thing where it's at. Really? Mm-mm-mm. Miss Linda laughing at Jolene. Mia says, yeah, I would be able to get Wegovy for fatty liver disease. Okay, so there's an option. And I mean, I love that there's an option. I think if I had to go on Wegovy or go on Ozempic, I think I'll be okay because I don't have a lot of food noise or whatever. Um, Probably very minute a food noise, but I don't want to. I want to stay where I'm at. Like I said, there's no need to fix this, something that's not broken. All right. So Grace says, Wegovy is a great treatment too, and they have higher doses on the way. That's what they keep saying. They're on the way. When they gonna come, honey? When they gonna come? Like 2, 3 years from now? Like I don't know. Like, I'll stay on my appetite until then, if I can. All right. Mina says yes on Manjaro, only med that worked for A1C. Okay. See, that's for her. That's what works for her, boo. All right, Cookie says, y'all got me wanting to reschedule my appointment. I was supposed to go Thursday, and my meds are supposed to ship next week. They bet not cancel it. I know that's right, Cookie. Cookie said they gonna have to deal with me, honey. Cookie J. Oh, dang. Low Carb Queen said, in the bushes, multitasking and listening. Thank you so much, Low Carb Queen. And she's on Majara as well. Doing well with her A1C, I'm sure. All right, so Mia says, yeah, I would like to stick with what's worked so far. Later, I may need to change to something else for more help to lose 90 more pounds. And that's okay. And that's, your prerogative whenever you want to, I understand that. But right now, honey, the zip is zipping. Yes, yes. Good night, sweet Grace. Thank you for coming in and being over here with us tonight. All right, y'all. So yeah, it's about time to wrap it up anyway. All right, Monty, it's the PBMs, honey, of it all. Yes. Not on PBMs. They're the ones that decide formularies and requirements. Yes, they do. They do. They do. They do. You're right about it, Monty. When you're right, you're right. Sweet dreams, Grace, Mia says. And then, hello, everyone. Miss Nicole Ray says, how are you doing, sweetheart? I thank you for coming in. If you don't mind, I'm not sure if you're in the bushes, but if you don't mind, if you can go ahead and look at this replay, it's been a great night tonight. And I have had a joyous time with you all, Sweet Life Squad members. Yes, yes. Also, because we're about to get off now, Miss Nicole. But I do appreciate you for coming in, and I really hope that you are enjoying your week thus far, and that I hope your week will continue to get better. All right, Miss Linda says, oh, no, Cookie. She said, put them up, put them up. She gonna beat them up, honey, by her meds. All right, Nicole says, oh, I got to hear the end. Yes, but I'm happy you came in, sweetheart. Yes, Low Carb Queen says, yes, ma'am, A1C is a 5.4, honey. Yes. Sweet tea. That's some sweet tea, though. Yes. Also, Miss Queen. Yes, yes. I'm at a 5.4 as well. I love how Manjaro has been helping us. And I don't know a lot of people on Ozempic. But yeah, I love that's in here. I love that Manjaro is helping us with that A1C, honey. The A1C of it all. So y'all, just to let y'all know before y'all, some other people go, okay, Sugar Talks. Okay? I will be speaking with Mr. Grant Campbell on Thursday evening at around 9:45 p.m. 29:39:45. Okay? After if Miss Twine comes on Thursday, yes, I'll go on 9:45 after she comes on. That way we can join her on her little live and then come on over here to Miss Kim J. Sweet Healthy Life, speaking with Mr. Grant Campbell, Sugar Talks, in the mates. Okay? That's going to be my new series. So we got Curious with Kim. We got Sugar Talks. Yes, yes. Just going to do some more things in 2026, that are going to come. I love you all. I thank you all for coming in, participating with me, chatting it out with me tonight, talking about this food desert, making sure that everybody, no matter where you live, no matter how much your income looks like, what it looks like, no matter what, that we are able to choose healthy, clean, good options, and that we are able to give, people, some hope. Okay? Some hope. So Monty says, yes, got to get ready for boot camp in the AM. Good night. Good night. Sweetheart. Yes, congratulations, Miss Queen. That's Auntie Queen there, y'all. All right. All right. Congratulations to me too. Thank you so much, Auntie Queen. Yes, yes. Okay, so look, our Queen says, I'm interviewing Real Journey Talk with V tomorrow. I'll be there, honey. You know I'll be there. And if I can't be there, it's because I may have some, I may have something going on. But as of right now, I will be in that chat with you. And I think that would be great. All right, y'all know V. Y'all know Miss Real Journal Talk with V. Yes, that should be a great interview, y'all. All right. So good night, sweethearts. So I hope all hearts and minds are clear. What time? No, yeah, go ahead on and let us know, Queen. Let us know, Queen. 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. sharp, Eastern Standard Time is normal when she comes on. Good night, Jerlene. Just waiting on Queen to say what time. I'm thinking it's, yep, 7 p.m. There you go, boo. Boom, 7 p.m. Y'all go check her out. Check that channel out, honey. All right, loves. Love you. Peace. Good night. Good night. You have a peaceful evening too. Love y'all.